Hello, welcome. Welcome everyone. Bienvenidos. How's everyone doing tonight? Did everybody have a boss lady? Good evening, my name is Ave Lambert. My pronouns are they, them. Thank you for your support as the new executive director here at Feast. I see some new faces in the crowd. It's wonderful to have you here. Wouldn't be here without our amazing community and our wonderful staff. I want to thank them. Hopefully people can start trickling in. When we were thinking about what to call tonight, I was remembering my great Tia Poppy's favorite toast, Amor, Salud, Pesetas, and we thought, what's better than health, wealth, and the time to enjoy it together? So we called it our Spring Salud. That's what we do here at Feast, right? We work together to create health, which is a true form of wealth, so that people can have real security. Looking around this room, I see humans with big hearts. I see joy and resilience. I see people who have gone through 2 incredibly difficult and challenging years together and come out the other side. I want us all to look at the person standing next to us and say hello. If you haven't met them yet, say your names. Look them in the eyes. Recognize that that person is you, and you are them. We are all interconnected. We are all neighbors and siblings. We have walked through this pandemic, and many of us have lost loved ones and livelihoods. With empathy in our hearts, I want us to bring grief and praise to this moment. I want us to take a collective breath to honor our shared experience and remember those we have lost and the literal and figurative livelihoods that the pandemic has taken. Now we are all here together, choosing to create a new future. Everyone in this room brings wisdom, compassion, and a fierce heart. We are choosing to risk being vulnerable and courageous to try and change our world. In our first shared moment of salute, I want to raise a glass to each of you standing here today. So if you'll join me on 3, raise a glass and say salud. 1, 2, 3, salud! With your generosity during the pandemic, we addressed our community's needs directly and quickly by expanding our food access and distribution program. We provided over $100,000 in direct financial assistance for food, rent, and anything else. We provided we distributed over 60,000 pounds of fresh produce, reaching over 9,000 individuals. Woo! Thank you. All of this in addition to our standard programming. We created our family feeding curriculum in response to the needs of caregivers at home. Parents and grandparents had the additional weight of feeding everyone while being a good role model for future generations. This is a burden we can all share. As we talk tonight about our food memories and what home tastes like, we hope you can feel personally the support and interconnectedness that our participants get in each feast group. If the past 2 years has taught us anything, it's that we all need each other, that our liberation is inherently tied, and that the way to care for folks suffering from the failures of the systems we all created is to create local solutions. The future of Feast is grounded in these learnings. Before our final salute, we're going to hear from a Feast board member and 2 of our participants. It's my honor to introduce co-vice chair of the board, Rachel Zabo. Rachel, thank you for making tonight possible.
Thank you for, can you hear me? Yeah. Thanks for the warm introduction, Ave. To me, personally, the education part of Feast is what speaks to me the most. Feast isn't about Band-Aid fixes. Giving access to healthy food without education isn't providing sustainable growth for individuals or for their families. We're bombarded with so much information about food through advertising, diet trends, conflicting information on social media. We all want to do the right thing, but don't know who or what to believe or even where to start, which reminds me of the beginning of my personal food journey. My dad was a single parent wanting nothing but the best for my brother and I. But at the time, the food pyramid was the pillar of food education, and it taught and instructed teachers, parents, and kids alike that grains, bread, rice, and pasta were to make up the largest food portions on our plate. Every day, we carb loaded like we were preparing for a marathon. Not only was the food pyramid detrimental to our overall health and well-being, it was the main resource that we had any knowledge of. I didn't realize this until my grandmother, Oma, who had taken formal nutrition classes, stepped in telling my dad we really should not be having dessert every morning for breakfast. Around that time, she was teaching me about how to make more healthy choices, including recipes like smoothies with organic tofu, berries, yogurt, sprouts, and flax seeds. I didn't realize something so healthy could taste so delicious. Oma also taught me how to identify herbs, how to make healing teas from them, and how to grow my own food. A fond memory was growing rhubarb in the backyard and making a compote from it. My favorite way to eat it was warm with granola, steel-cut oats, seeds, and nuts. And if I was lucky, from time to time, she'd oftentimes put a dollop of her homemade whipped cream on top. And there are numerous recipes that we made together that I still incorporate into recipes that I make for my family today. It's because of the experiences I had with her in the kitchen at an impressionable time in my life that I want to be part of helping others create meaningful relationships with food and within their families. And like so many of you who also have food memories with loved ones, my grandmother's food journey and mine have come full circle as I have now become a board member of Feast and she is a monthly Feast donor. And in the end, that's what this is all about. Ensuring that we build well for our future generations. Ensuring that our kids are ready to learn, to make healthy decisions for the rest of their lives, to have the energy and the endurance to succeed in school, and to have the careers of their dreams. And to one day, if they choose, create their own families and watch their grandkids grow up. That's why we're doing this, and that's why we're all a part of this beautiful community, and there is so much gratitude for each and every one of you. And with that said, I'd like to take this time to express gratitude for everyone who made this event possible, including all of our sponsors, Sweetfin, Andrea, the Hey Boss Lady podcast. Thank you to Leica for providing this beautiful space. Atelier Sassier for these great napkins that came here today. And Alex with Bonas Mescal. Thank you to all of our vendors, especially Louis, who has donated his time. Chef Alberto and his team. Our event planner, Christina, and her team. And Zoe, who made the beautiful centerpieces. Our generous board members and our amazing donors who make this work possible. And everyone on the Feast team, with a very, very special thanks to Lauren and Shannon, who put on this event and all events for Feast.
Lauren! Thank you.
Please stand right here. From the rest of our Feast team, Anna. And our newest member,
Gracias.
our newest member.
Thank you all.
And also all of these teachers, participants, and graduates, some of whom are here tonight with us. Hilda. Talia. Patricia. Jenny. Jeanette. And thank you, Ave, as well. And Amy. Oh my gosh.
Thank you all so much for making tonight and Feast happen for the past few years. You are rock stars. We have a poem from Nayeli about Feast. Gather around this table, community forging on. Like leftovers, you look forward to the next day. Like the comfort of the last drop of a favorite meal. We are here because we know the importance of bloom. How our hands tender soil. How the story of seedlings well open the iron gates that keep this sun in the gardens from neighborhood. Back to our beats to envision access, justice, togetherness, once more to feast. You guys can sit down or stay if you want. Thank you so much, Rachel. And it's my honor to share the stage with someone who has graduated from our 16-week program, Patricia.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Patricia Lewis. I have two daughters, Trisha and Tiffany Castro. Oh, sorry. My name is Patricia Lewis. Good afternoon to everyone who's here. I have two daughters, Trisha Castro and Tiffany Castro. I'm from Belize, and my husband is from Mexico. And I'm really grateful and thankful for the Feast program. I joined Feast because at Fauché School, where my girls go, the program was offered to us. And coming from Belize, where we used to make 3 meals fresh every day, and then coming over here and changing to pizza, soda, and everything else, the Feast program was a good reminder of going back to roots. So I started the program, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the family time, because with Feast it was not just about food. It was about community. It was about sharing. It's about caring. It's about becoming a family. You know, I learned a lot about reading the labels behind the food that, of course, we never did before. We just pick it up at the store and we just put it on the table and serve it. But after reading and noticing, I was like, wow, I'm putting that in my system. I'm giving this to my girls, because it looked healthy, it looked good, but it really wasn't all that good. So by going into Feast, it teaches us all these different new things about how to feed ourselves. I was really appreciative of the groceries, because just before the pandemic, I lost my job of 30 years. We were laid off. Sorry. So receiving the groceries to us was a blessing. It was really a good thing, because sometimes you're in a position where you think that you have everything, or you feel like, oh, this couldn't happen to me. But when all like 300 of us got laid off, like we didn't expect it. So that was a big blow, and then it makes you realize that you have to watch what you're spending, you have to watch what you're doing, how you're eating, or just to make life day to day. So the groceries was very important to me. During the pandemic, I lost some family members, and while we were doing the feast program, we became a family. So we were like encouraging each other and being strong for each other and lifting each other up, because there were days when you feel like you don't want to get out of the bed, or how can you do this after so much loss? But then you realize that you're not the only one losing, it's like everybody. So then it's like when your grandma said it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to bring each other together, to lift each other up. So I was really grateful for that. And then, this made me stronger, because when you listen to somebody else's story and you hear what somebody else is going through, it makes you realize that yes, you may have lost your job, or you don't know if you're going to get a next check or when you're going to get a job, but then there's still somebody out there who's in a different position than you are. I think that I only have 2 girls. They're 15 and 19. But then when you have somebody, you listen to somebody who has 5 children or 7 children, and they both parents lost their job, or all this going on, it makes you realize how grateful and thankful you are. So I'm really thankful and grateful for Feast. It's made me stronger, because when I speak to the ladies or the staff, or I call them, I'm so grateful that I don't have to call them only during the class. Like, they're available to give us the support we need, especially the mental support. Because sometimes you can see somebody smiling, looking happy, excited, whatever, but the heart is tearing. The heart is going through. So when we have a family like Feast, I'm so sorry. It makes you realize how much more grateful and thankful we need to be, because I lost like 3 persons in 1 week, and it's like, how do you handle it? How do you take it? Where do you start? So where do you start? But I was able, when we get in a circle, we were able to, so sorry. I'm grateful for Feast, because it made us a family. We learn about food, we learn about taking care of each other, we learn about we can have mental health support and gratitude. So I just want to say thanks. I want to thank all the people who support this Feast program, all the people who donated, all the chefs, everybody from the back to the front to everywhere. I just want to say thank you. I'm totally appreciated, grateful, and blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. It's my honor to introduce somebody who has graduated from our 16-week wellness program and also taken our family feeding program, Jenny de la Pera.
Buenas tardes. My name is Jenny de la Pera, and I had the fortune to participate in Feast Alimentando Nuestras Familias, speaking in Spanish, program this past winter. I also graduated from the 16-week Feast program back in 2019. I first heard about Feast in my daughter's after-school program. As I recall, it was promoted as a class for parents to cook healthy meals for our families. I was intrigued because I was struggling in that department, and after a couple of weeks being in the program, I noticed I became excited excited to learn new recipes and incorporate new healthy ingredients to our meals. I was able to try almost all the recipes with my family, and I started to add quinoa, broccoli, and spinach to the one comfort food I didn't know how to make, which was sopa de fideos. It was a little bit healthy, right? Although my daughters help out in clearing the table after we have dinner, it never occurred to me to involve them in preparing healthy meals and snacks. In this new program, I learned ways to include my 5-year-old daughter, Itzel, to partake in preparing the meals. When we got home from school, she would often ask about the latest recipe I had learned. We even recorded a video once where she talked into the camera and provided step-by-step instructions for the strawberry vanilla yogurt ice pop while giggling and shrieking with excitement. Itzel continues to be excited about learning new recipes, and we designate one day out of our busy week to prepare dinner together. Even my 10-year-old daughter, Naila, participates in grinding the ingredients to making our own homemade salsa. I must say, through Feast, I discovered the love of cooking that I never thought I had in me. I'm grateful to the Feast program for helping me discover the joyful cooking, and above all, the satisfaction I have for creating homemade, healthy meals that my family enjoys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you both so much, Jenny and Patricia. Can we get another round of applause for speakers? These two incredible individuals exemplify what our Feast program uniquely addresses. The needs of the whole human, the physical, spiritual, emotional, social, and economic contributors to health. Creating the human connections and building the community we all need in a holistic and delicious way. We are all here today because we believe in the profound impact the Feast program has, and that health and wellness are human rights. Excuse me. Hello? You'd like to donate $10,000 to our family feeding program? But there's a caveat? You'd like someone to match. Okay, hold on one second, please. We have a generous anonymous donor who's phoned in on the banana phone. Who here will match this $10,000 to double our impact? Instead of feeding 30 families through a family feeding program, we can support 60 families this year. Do we have anyone in the $10,000? Oh my God. Thank you so much. Lauren and Shannon will be right with you. Oh my God, okay, so. Can we triple our impact here tonight? Can we support 90 families through our family feeding program this year? Would anybody else like to pledge? How about $5,000?
I've got another 5 if someone will match me.
Will anyone match Erica for $5,000? We've got $25,000 and we're on our way to 90 families. $5,000? Anybody? We could break it into two 2,500s. Anybody? 2,500. And we got 25 for good measure, Christina. Kip, thank you both so much. Shannon, Lauren will be around to take your generous donations. Erica, thank you all so much. Amanda. I'm really touched by the generosity here tonight. I'm touched by our participant stories. I'm touched by you all showing up. This is incredible. I know it's weird to go out, but for you to be here today means a lot. It's good to see you all have legs. Some of you are very tall. I was not expecting that. Tori, you're super tall. We
are building the world we all want to be a part of. Our vision is a future in which our most vulnerable neighbor enjoys salud. A world full of belonging, empathy, connection, nourishment, and abundance. For our final salud, I rely on our ancestors. As my great tia Poppy would say, salud, amor, pacetas, y tiempo para disfrutarlos. So if you'll join me in one last salud, on 3, we'll all say salud together. 1, 2, 3, salud!